Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we took on the Edmonton Oilers in the second round, I almost said conference finals, but we managed to beat them somehow in a very tough 7-game series. Like I said, I didn't think this team in Edmonton that they had was that great because they had kind of really bad depth, but they managed to get it to a game 7 at least. So you can see that we won 4-2, then we lost 2 games in a row, one in overtime and one by a score of 6-1. Then we bounced back with a 6-2 win, but then we lost in overtime and we were on the brink of elimination, and we had 2 more overtime wins to get ourselves all the way to the conference finals now against a tough Nashville Predators team from the regular season. But technically we've been playing a little bit better than they have in the playoffs, but they've been a better defensive team, that type of thing. So it should be very interesting to see who gets the Cup finals against either Columbus or the Rangers. Let me take a look quickly at what their lines look like again, just in case you guys forget. And I don't know who we're going to start for game 1 of this conference finals because both goalies haven't been that great. So, but as you can see, they have a very good forward core in Nashville. You can see why they won our division in the Central. Just a very deep team in terms of the wingers, with like 86s playing on the third line. But they do have a couple weak pieces like Kabanov, Forster, Curry, that type of thing. And then defensively, they're not terrible, but I'd say we're still better than them defensively. But offensively, they're definitely way better. So you can see that they have Riley, Cons, Tikkanen, Burrows, Lemaire, and Koskarenta. And then goalie-wise, they have an 82 overall, so technically we got them beat goalie-wise as well. So as long as we can play good defensive hockey, which we haven't so far in the playoffs, then we could beat this team, I think. But we need to find a way to contain this level of offense because we haven't had to face something like this good of offense since the Calgary Flames in the first round. So there is that. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me see who we want to start for game 1 because I'm not really sold on either goalie. We did move Gene Thornton down to the second line at the end of last episode. So for game 7, I think it was, or was maybe for game 6. But I am going to keep him down there for now just because we got to win with this roster. So, but who do I want to start for game 1 of the series? I'm thinking Benson just because he's been a little bit better. Both goalies have 4 wins on the in the playoffs so far. Looks like Soderstrom's dropping off a little bit, maybe? I don't know. But I think I'm going to go with Benson for game 1. And if Benson doesn't play great, we could go to Soderstrom and kind of alternate between the two of them. If one has a bad game, then the other one comes in, that type of thing. Because that's what we've been typically doing in this playoff run so far. And yeah, our depth scoring showed up a little bit, actually quite a bit in that second round. Because we had like our third line score like a combined 9 points in one of those games. So as long as our team could start scoring depth-wise again in this conference finals and we could play good defensively for a change, who knows what could happen in this conference finals. Because currently we are the cheese team. Because we finished like technically 46-36 in a sense, while Nashville finished 54-28. So if we could somehow beat this team as well like we beat the Calgary Flames, that would be amazing. So let's get into game number 1 in Nashville. And yeah, hopefully Benson has a strong game to start this off. He had a really good game 7, so I'm really hoping he could start off the series on the right foot. Like if he doesn't, though, like I said, we'll turn to Soderstrom. So here we go, game 1 in Nashville. Let's see what happens here. First period, scoreless. I'll definitely take that. Shots are 9-3 though in favor of them. So 3 shots through 20 minutes is definitely not going to get us to the Cup finals. We need to find a way to get more shots on goal if we can, because they definitely limited our chances in that one. But their goalie might be still a little bit cold because he hasn't had to face that much shots. So hopefully he can open up the scoring in the second period maybe a little bit. Second period, still scoreless. Wow, okay. More of a defensive series than I expected, considering we've had really good offensive, we were scoring good offensive, I'd say, in the first 2 rounds. It's just our defense wasn't really there, but so far it's been good in this game. Shots are 20-13 in favor of the Predators, but somehow it's still an even game. Both teams haven't had a lot of shots through 40 minutes, so let's see what happens in this third period. See if we can get that first goal. Who wants to open the scoring for us? Penalty kill. Nicely done, and Hedman scores. Let's go. Hedman had no points in last round, so good to see him come through here in the conference finals. And then Cooper ties the game up for them on that third line. And then Pettersson gives them a lead, of course. And then Jacobs ties it right back up for us, though. This is a very back-and-forth type of game as well. Similar to the other games we've had before the playoffs, but more defensively minded, it seems like. And it's going to be a 2-2 game going into overtime. The shots are 31-26 in favor of the Preds. Our goals coming from Hedman and Jacobs. Theirs coming from Cooper and Pedersen. So our second pairing defenseman and our third line right winger, I think, our second line maybe. And then they have a third liner that scored and a first liner. Let's see what happens in overtime, see if we can take a 1-0 series lead here. If we can get a win on the road, that'd be great, but the Preds are going to score, and it's Koskarenta, who's, I believe, their third line center, or is that their first line center? I can't remember. But we end up losing game 1 in overtime, so we've been to overtime quite a bit in the playoffs so far. Like, I think at least 6 or 7 times, so sucks to not get the win there. Hedman from Burns and Petain. Jacobs' 6th goal from Hedman and Sedin. We need to find a way to get Thornton to score because he's only got 1 goal so far in the postseason. He's been really snake-bitten offensively. So Hedman gets 3rd star, Koskarenta to 2nd, and Cooper to 3rd. But that was not a bad game from Benson. Yeah, it was not a bad game from Benson. So I might keep with Benson for game number 2. Because we were 1 goal away from winning that one. So yeah, I think I'll keep with Benson. But I am going to make some more line adjustments to our forward core. Because we need to find a way to get Thornton going. Because him even playing with Burns doesn't seem to be working. He's only got 1 goal in 14 games. And he's making like $13 million. Mike Jacobs definitely deserves that top line time more than him. But let's try moving him back to the first line and see if he could rekindle some magic or something. I don't know. And yeah, we'll reinvent the defensive core a little bit. But yeah, Benson's definitely, I think, our starter for this next game. And if he loses it again, then we'll probably go to Soderstrom for the next one. But that was not the worst way to start the first for the conference finals. Not the worst way to start the 3rd round because we were 1 game away from winning, or 1 goal away from winning that one. We just need to find a way to get more offense past the Preds. It seems like. Here we go, game number 2 in Nashville. Still, can we tie the series headed home? That'd be a great way to start off this conference finals. First period, and that is going to be a 4-0 opening period. Holy crap! I was not expecting that. Especially after how last game went scoreless throughout the first 2 periods. 4 goals on 13 shots. Bickle has already been pulled, which means they're playing like a 60 overall goalie for the rest of this game. So Jääskeläinen, Pasquale, Scuderi, and Lucic score. So that's a first liner, or maybe second liner actually. Yeah, first, second, third, and fourth line. That might be all our lines scoring a goal, which would be pretty impressive. Shots are 13-11 in favor of us. It's a 1-0 game, or not 1-0 game, 4-0 game. Second period, still 4-0. Let's go. Love the way that we're actually shutting the door on teams once we get the lead, though. Because we're playing a lot better defensively in this round, I'd say, already than we were in the first 2 rounds combined. Shots are 25-22 in favor of us, and it's a 4-0 game. Let's just lock this one down here in this 3rd period. 5-0 Pasquale scores. Let's go. It's good to see our depth showing up, though, because like in the last few years in the playoffs, our depth really didn't show up. But this year, it's starting to turn around, it seems like a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the injection of guys like Jacobs and whatnot, but good to see our depth scoring. Rodney breaks Benson's shutout, which is a kind of a douche move, but it's a 5-1 game. And we're going to tie the series at 1 apiece headed home, which is very good for this team. Another strong game from Benson, so I think Benson might start again next game. Jääskeläinen from Teratukin and Thornton, so good to see Thornton picking up assists since being moved back up to the top line. Pasquale from Sidor and Umberger, Scuderi from Sedin and Forster, Lucic from Petain and McGrattan, and Pasquale from Hedman and Sidor. So yeah, Pasquale had 2 goals in that game, which is pretty good. And let's see, any minus players on our roster. Only 4 players were even, but everybody was plus on the roster, which is good. Only a couple of players with multiple points, those being Sidor and Pasquale, but some very good depth scoring throughout our lineup in that one. And then, yeah, goalie-wise, Benson was fantastic, so that's great to see. 3 stars of the game, Pasquale the 1st star, Benson the 2nd star, and Ashton gets 3rd star, which is kind of surprising because that's a 60 overall goalie that came in, but he kind of shut down the door a bit after we had a very good first period, so kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think we're going to definitely keep with Benson for Game 3 because he was really good in those first 2 games. If he doesn't play good this game, though, like we could always turn to Soderstrom as well. So we're not going to make any line changes because we just had a good game. Let's see if we can take a 2-1 series lead here. We have home ice advantage now for these next 2 games. If we win both of them, we could put ourselves in a very good situation, but who knows what could happen. Game number 3, first period. 1-0 Preds, I guess I'll take that. Still not a bad opening period from Benson. 1 goal on 9 shots. We had nothing on 13 though, so we need our way for our offense to come through some goals like they did in last game's first period. Yeah, so shots are 13-9 in favor of us. We're out shooting them. Second period, we're down 3-1. That's not good. Jacobs ties the game up at 1 apiece, but in Houston and Tikkanen score. We're out shooting them 24-19, so their goalie's definitely having a bounce back game. We need 2 goals in this third period to tie this one up here, boys. Let's see what happens. See if we can get this game tied back up. We need Gene Thornton to score goals because I am kind of getting pissed off that he's not showing up. Penalty kill, nicely done. Power play, it's a long opportunity. We do not score. It's probably going to do it for this one as well. Yeah, our offense isn't showing up this one, and we're going to lose 3-1 in game number 3, and the Preds have restored their series lead. Our only goal, Jacobs from Jaskelin and Thornton, so it seems like that top line seems to be working. Jacobs has got 7 goals this postseason, which is a lot better than I expected. But yeah, that sucks. Not a terrible game again from Benson, but I think I'm going to give him a day off and restore to Soderstrom. Because Soderstrom's like the OG goalie of this franchise mode. So, well, not the OG goalie, but he's still one of the OGs. Let's go to goalies, and let's go to Soderstrom for this next game. Give Benson a night off. And yeah, this top line is doing a lot better, I think. But still, I'm not impressed with Thornton's goal scoring at all. Rest of our lines, do we want to make any changes down here? Is there any guys we could call up? No. Nobody's really drawing my interest down there. How about defensively? How has it been plus-minus wise? -9 for McGrattan. He has been terrible defensively. Let's move him to play with Taratukin. But yeah, he's been really not great defensively. Where does he work best? He works best on the top pairing, of course. Because I was going to say we could try him with one of the defensive defensemen down here, but he won't work that well. Yeah. And that's good. Where are we going to find a way to get Thornton to score goals? What can we do? Let's get Jacobs up there instead of Scuderi. I don't really know. But yeah, there needs to be a way to get Thornton to score goals. Because right now, he's definitely not worth the money with 1 goal. Like, sure, he has 7 assists, so he has 8 points in 16 games, but he hasn't really shown up. Jaskelin has been pretty quiet this playoff run as well. Jacobs might be one of our best players, him and Burns. So there's that. Actually, let me take a quick look at something. I want to see if there's anybody in the minors defensively that we could call up. Griffin technically could come up. How good was he during the regular season? What the fuck? Oh my god. What the hell? Excuse my language. I was thinking this guy was going to do really good because he's got 99 offensive awareness, passing, deking, and his shooting category is good. But look at this. 103 points from a defenseman in the AHL. I know our AHL team might be really good, but still. And then 10 points in 10 playoff games. Oh my goodness. If that guy could do that at the NHL level, then that is insane. He's an offensive defenseman, so if I wanted to bring him up, I'd have to send down somebody like McGrattan because he's offensive, but I don't really want to do that. I could call him up and take out shoots, but I don't really know if that's worth it. Let me actually just call him up, I think, right now, since the AHL team's not in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look and see if the AHL team's in the playoffs or not. 6-4. So yeah, it looks like they must have lost, unfortunately. Yeah, I think they must have got eliminated, right? Let me just make sure for that. Yes, they got eliminated. So I think I'm going to call up Morgan Griffin randomly and inject him into our defensive core. Because that is unreal numbers for your first season in the AHL. Over 100 points as a defenseman. Like, if he could do that at the NHL level, that would be insane. Let's just go best lines down there since they're not playing anymore. And who's been bad defensively down there? I don't really know. I'm going to take Shoots out of the lineup. And where does Griffin fit the best? On our second pairing. Okay. That works actually for me, I think. Maybe a bit. Ooh, I don't want to move Sedin down to that pairing, though. I might have to play Griffin on the top 6, but I am going to move Griffin onto the power play unit right away. And I'm going to move Thornton up, move Jacobs over to this unit. And move Scuderi over here. Take Forster off the power play. And yeah, Morgan Griffin's going to get power play opportunity. Because with that offensive statistics and stuff like that, maybe he will do really good there. He might just be a really good AHLer, so this might be a really dumb move to make in the playoffs, especially in the conference finals, but we need to find a way to get our offense going a little bit more, I'd say. I'll keep the rest of that unit the same, I think, though. But yeah, let's see if Morgan Griffin could become that elite offensive talent we need, because he's got really good offensive statistics, and if he does that, and if he had 103 points in the AHL, he could probably do good at the NHL level as well, I would assume. I've never seen a defenseman pick up over 100 points in the AHL before. So that's insane. But let's see if we can tie this series up at 2. And yeah, hopefully we don't lose this game, because if we lose this game, we're going to be down 3-1, which is not good. Come on, boys. Let's see what Morgan Griffin could do in his debut. Pick up maybe a couple assists. That'd be great. First period, 3-1 us. Let's go. That's exactly what I wanted. And Griffin scores already his first ever goal in his first ever period. That might be on his first shot on goal too. But Jacobson scores to make it 1-0. Teratukin scores a short-handed goal. Scuderi then scores. Griffin then gets a goal to make it 3-1. We have 3 goals on 8 shots, so we're kind of playing great again in terms of scoring on our chances like we did in Game 6 of last round. Shots are 11-8 in favor of the Preds. Second period, 3-1 still us. Let's go. Injecting Morgan Griffin might have been a very good option for this team, because that gives us more offense from the back end. Maybe it makes us worse defensively, I don't know, but we have a 3-1 lead going into the third. Shots are 21-15 in favor of the Preds. Let's lock this one down here, boys. But yeah, I'm already impressed with Griffin in his debut to score a goal already. He might be the best offensive defenseman we've ever had if he scores more. And of course, the Predators going to score 2 goals in the third period. God damn it. And then Thornton gets a goal. Let's go. Gene Thornton hadn't scored since like early in the first round. So that is a huge goal from Gene Thornton when it matters most. But Rodney ties the game up, of course, at 4 apiece. Are you kidding me? And then Pettersson scores and we lose 5-4. And we are on the brink of elimination after a very bad third period from Soderstrom. So maybe I should have played, what's his name? Benson. So Teratukin from Jaskline and Petain, Scuderi from Teratukin and Burns. Griffin's first playoff goal and first ever goal from Scuderi and Umberger. Thornton from Jaskline and Jacobs is the only one. But we got peppered in that third period. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we got definitely outplayed in that third period and we ended up losing. Not good. Yeah, we're probably going to end up getting eliminated here in the conference finals, which means another late pick for no reason, unless we can win 3 straight games. I might take McGrattan out of the lineup, because his plus-minus is probably even worse now. What's his stats looking like? -9 still in 17 games. He's good offensively, though. Let's change that up maybe a little bit. What can I do? I could try and putting one of those better defensemen on the top 6. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Because I need Morgan Griffin to get as much ice time as possible, I think. Because, yeah, 1 goal in his only game, and it was on his first shot on goal, too. Is impressive. Yeah, I think that's what we got to do. We got to just inject Griffin as much places as we can. Which means Hedman is going to come off the power play. He's not really a great fit there, but I don't really care at this rate. As we need to win 3 straight games. And penalty kill will stay the exact same, though. And that's good. Let's see about this forward lines. Let's move Scuderi back up. Restore back to our normal top line. Benson should be in net. Yep, he is. That's good. And the rest of this, I think, will stay the same. Let's try and move this down. Anybody down here can take face-offs. It's probably going to be Sidor that takes it. Let's try that. And yeah, that's going to be our team going into a crucial next few games. And hopefully we can somehow come back from a 3-1 deficit, but it's going to be tough against a tough Preds team. So I don't really think we stand a chance, but you never really know. So let's get into game number 5, see if we can win a game in Nashville. If we can win this game at least, then we go back home, where hopefully our fans could get us back in this series if that is the case. But here we go, real-time simulation since we're on the brink of elimination. Let's see if Benson could have a strong game here. Come on, boys. Come on, Griffin. I believe in you to give us some offensive boost from the back end. There we go. Burns scores a power play goal. That's good, but they answer right back. Curry. That's a 77 overall, isn't it? Curry scores again. That's not good. It's not good that their depth scoring is showing up. But yeah, I don't really know if we stand a chance against this team. Shots are 16-12 in favor of the Preds, so they're outplaying us. Benson probably kept us in it in that first period. Let's go with the second, see if we can tie this one up here. Come on, boys. Come on, Griffin. Power play opportunity, we do not convert. Power play again, we do not convert again. And then they score a power play goal, of course. Cooper makes it 3-1. That might be the ball-busting goal. And Kabanov makes it 4-1. Yep. We're going to be eliminated in the conference finals unless we have a huge comeback here. But that's unfortunate. Thornton makes it 4-2. So he's showing up right at the wrong time. Because he showed up last game and now he's scoring in this game too. He's trying to show me that he's kind of worth his money. But he hasn't been so far in this playoff run. Shots are 27-21 in favor of the Preds. It's a 4-2 game. We need to have 2 goals here in the third period if we want to stay alive. Who do I want to call upon? I don't really know. Let's see what happens. See if we can get this game tied back up. Come on, guys. Next goal matters most. Can we tie this game up still with 2 goals in this third period, or are we going to be eliminated in 5 games in the conference finals? We score a power play goal from Jääskeläinen, and that's huge. Can we tie it up now, though? Final few minutes. Come on, 1 goal, 1 goal. And no, we can't. Forster gets the empty netter. And we're going to be eliminated in the conference finals in 5 games, which is really unfortunate. But the Preds all of a sudden just turned on their offensive jets and we lost that one. Oh, that really blows. But Burns from Jääskeläinen, Thornton from Umberger and Jääskeläinen, and Jääskeläinen from Tertukin and Benson. Another year with no cup for Jääskeläinen. It really sucks. How was our defenseman down there? Where is he? Oh, there he is. -1. He had only 1 shot on goal. That's unfortunate. 3 stars of the game. Jääskeläinen got first star in that game. 1 goal, 2 assists, and 7 hits. Trying to get our team going back into this, but we could not get back into it. And then Cooper and Curry are the third and second star. Oh, that really sucks. We outshot them in that game too, and we won more face-offs, but we end up losing. We had 1 really good game of that conference finals. We actually could have won game 1 technically too, but unfortunately dropped 3 straight games. And yeah, their offense just turned it on, and our offense was average, I'd say. We finished 9-9 in this playoff run. Burns was still over point per game, but we lose in the conference finals. Let's take a look at our player stats. Through the first 3 rounds, then we'll send them up to the awards to see if Jääskeläinen won another Selke or not. And yeah, that'll be pretty much it for this episode at that point. We'll also assimilate actually to the retirements and stuff too. So Burns, 19 points, 18 games. Really good playoff run from him. We still have him locked up for a couple more years, which is good. Yeah, he's been a pretty good playoff player. Jääskeläinen, 16 points in 18 games. He always does his part. I feel like he's now got 128 playoff points in 119 playoff games. Fantastic. He was a -1, unfortunately, but still. Petain, 15 points, 18 games. No problems with Petain or Piscoli, who had 9 points. I'd say our depth scoring was definitely a lot better this year. Thornton, 11 points. Jacobs, 9 points. Forster, 8 points. Lucic, 7. Sidor, 6. And Duclair had 5. And I think most of those were in 1 game, which is kind of funny. Right wing-wise, Scuderi had 11 points, and Bengtsson only had 3 goals. If we would have had a better player than Bengtsson, maybe we could have won farther. But it is what it is. Defensively, Tertukin was really good, 12 points in 18 games. Sedin, 11 points. Hedman, 9 points. McGrattan, 7 points. Umberger had 4 points. Griffin had 1 goal in 2 games, which is not too bad, considering he just got injected into our lineup after an insane AHL season. I really hope he could do good at the NHL level as well, because if so, we'll lock him up for a long-term deal. And then Jorgen shoots only 1 assist in 16 games. Goalie-wise, Benson was not that great, but he wasn't terrible. Soderstrom kind of dropped off a lot in like the second round and whatnot. Yeah, we just could not play good defensively, it seems like, at all, which is kind of surprising because we were one of the best defensive teams in the regular season. Or we were the best defensive team, I should say. Well, okay, let's simulate up to the awards, see if we got anything. I know we got the Jennings, I'm pretty sure, because we had the best goals against. And the Preds are going to win the Stanley Cup, so we lost to the best team this year. So at least that's something to be positive about, I guess you could say. Let me take a look at that playoff tree just to see who they faced. They faced the New York Rangers and won in 5 games. Makes sense. Let's take a look at the awards. See if Jääskeläinen won another one or not. So Nashville wins the Stanley Cup. Calgary won the President's Trophy, and we knocked them out in the first round, so that was also a positive this year. And yeah, Nashville and the Rangers in the Cup Finals. In terms of individual awards, Dominguez is going to win the Art Ross, and he also wins the Hart. Hlinka is going to win the Norris for the third straight season, so Colorado's got a good defenseman on their hands. Vidicek is going to win the Lady Byng. Latendresse is going to win the Calder for the Minnesota Wild. Cooper wins the Conn Smythe for Nashville, so a third liner winning the Conn Smythe is pretty impressive. Hamel wins the Vezina for the second time in the last 4 or 5 seasons. Jennings going to Benson, and not to our backup in Soderstrom, but to Benson at least. So Benson wins at Jennings, which is really good to see, but I don't know how long he's going to be with us for the rest of this series. Masterton going to Zanin in Philadelphia. Jack Adams going to Marchand, who is the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is kind of funny. And the Selke going back to Jääskeläinen. He's won 6 Selke trophies. Last year he didn't win it because of Baumgartner, but he has bounced back with another Selke trophy. This guy's unreal defensively. Unreal. Really good faceoffs, great takeaways. Good to see him win another. He is probably the best defensive forward I've ever had. And then Dominguez wins the Lindsay. And the Maurice Richard going to Scarabelli and Dominguez, so Philadelphia and Calgary. Interesting. In terms of AHL awards, Griffin is going to win the Sullenberger. He had the most points in the AHL. Like, he led the AHL in points as a defenseman, which is kind of nuts. Tursunbayev, which I believe might be our former one, wins an award down there in Calgary's AHL affiliate. I don't know if that's our former Croson either, but if it is, that's kind of funny. Griffin also wins the best defenseman and best rookie, obviously. Ferguson, Semin, and that's it. So yeah, Morgan Griffin cleaned up on awards down there in the AHL, which is impressive for a D-man to do. So that is that. Now let's simulate up to the retirements and see who retires this season. I don't think we're going to lose anybody because nobody's that old yet. Jääskeläinen is 33, and he's our oldest player, I'm pretty sure. So Boston's got first overall, followed by Arizona, Vancouver, San Jose, and Seattle. Interesting. Let's see, who is retiring this season? Anybody as of note? Line is the best to retire. Interesting. Best goalie to retire this year is Carter Hart. Interesting. Let's take a look and see if we lost anybody. I don't think we did, though. Nobody there, and nobody there, as I expected. Okay, so Line is now a coach, and he's coach retirements-wise. We did not lose our head coach, which is good, and I don't think we lost anything AHL-wise as well, right? No Burnaby? Yeah, no Burnaby. Okay, so that is that, and now we got to take a look at the draft class, the progress reports, and the contract situation. That'll be it for this episode. But starting off with the draft class, it might not be the best draft class because there's a top 6 supposed to go in the top 10. Which is a little bit weird. Yeah, there's going to be some pretty good players probably still in this draft anyways. There is a goalie that is supposed to go top 10 that we don't know anything about. He's got A's all across the board. I really wish we would have been able to draft a goalie like that. But we did not get a lottery pick this year. But we're probably going to be a really late pick, like 29th or something, or 28th. So we're probably stuck with another top 9 forward or a top 6 defenseman. Or we might just give ourselves a random top 6 like this guy, who's apparently NHL ready. So I think I am going to pin this guy in King. Might be decent. Since he's NHL ready, he might be exactly what this team needs in terms of giving us more depth scoring. So I'll definitely take that if I could get the opportunity to get him. A top 4 gem in the second round, interesting, but we don't need defensemen really. Unless we lose some in the offseason. Any low leads to pin as well, or no? But I'm curious on how good that goaltender is that's supposed to go top 10. Shatan, lowly defenseman, will pin him. Because that'll give us something maybe. This guy might be lowly too, who knows? Probably not you. What about Parker? Yeah, this draft class might not be the greatest again. Might be decent for the first round, but let's take a look at those progress reports now. So in terms of modified, yeah, Griffin's a 79 now. So Griffin would be probably on our defensive core next season, which means I don't know who on the top 6. Probably Schutz would probably come out, just because Schutz is more of a depth defenseman. But a lot of statistical growth for a lot of the NHL players, as you'd expect. Anybody regressing yet? Doesn't seem like it. And then, yeah, Benson and Soderstrom, no growth whatsoever. Benson might want less money because he's an 84 now. And then in the system-wise, any super good growth? Lowe is growing by quite a bit, but he's already 24. Goalie's up to a 74 at 21 for our medium elite goalie, which is great. Radulov's getting growth. Cole's up to a 73. So good to see some of our top prospects getting growth, because we definitely could inject some youth into our lineup soon. So there is all of that. And final thing, let's take a look at the contract situation. So up for renewal this year is Hedman. He's probably going to want a decent amount of money, I would assume. Yeah, he wants 8.5. I don't really know if he's worth that much. And if you go to 8 years, he wants like 11 million. So I don't really know if Hedman's going to come back or not. I guess he might want a lot of money if it stays like that. Forster, I'd like to try and get him back, because or else our depth scoring is going to go down even more. Patan wants like $6 million now, which is a lot of money, but he's kind of worth it in a sense. Jacobs is an RFA, so we'll probably have to qualify him, but we could try and sign him to a multi-year deal. McGrattan, he's also an RFA at least. Pasquale, I'd like to try and keep him around. Schutz might leave again and just come back again as a free agent signing. But luckily, a lot of our guys are RFAs, it seems like, this offseason. So there is all that. And then goalie-wise, Benson, how much are you wanting? 7.2. Yeah, Benson might be gone, and then we could just run Soderstrom. I don't know. And then we got Sweat, Galvin, and whatnot. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll have another offseason. We'll try and get ourselves some more good forwards in, because we need that depth scoring to definitely show up, and we need to play a little bit better defensively in the playoffs. So hopefully we can get our goalie situation a little bit better, and hopefully this team can get farther in the conference finals like in the next few seasons or whatnot. So leave us down below, and I'll see you guys next time.